Just a few reflections on the NLP training here on Bali. And a lot of people have been commenting in past trainings, but also this training, about purpose. And I think that especially for this last NLP training class here on Bali, I think people have found what having a purpose feels like, with actually maybe not even knowing it. Scientific evidence has shown that a purpose cannot be found through a system. Yeah, so you cannot take a workshop and go, well, at the end of this workshop, at the end of doing all this, you will know what your purpose is. But what is common in a purpose, in when people are interviewed who say, I am fulfilling my life purpose, and I could include myself in this, it's not necessarily a pre-set up plan or a conscious step-by-step process that you're executing. It's almost like you wake up on one day and you feel that you're there. But this is what I have noticed in the languaging that people do when they're leading a life in purpose. And they phrase it in a way where they go, through what I put out there, and whatever that specifically is, I'm serving the greater good somehow. I'm in service. Now, a lot of people then think, well, then I need to be a coach or a doctor or working for a foundation or raising my children because that's my purpose. It can be much simpler than that. Is that, for instance, if you're an accountant or a lawyer, who actually accountants and lawyers are always ranked on being the most unhappy professions around. I've met very happy lawyers and I've met very happy accountants. And they phrase what they do for a living as, through what I do for a living, I help other people retire early. Or through what I do for a living, I help someone else start a business. Or what I do for a living prevents someone to slide down in despair. And so that's a way where any job can be in purpose. It's just how you frame it inside your brain, and if you're doing what you should be doing, what your contract in life is. And I think that if you don't know what your purpose is, then you need to just follow the breadcrumbs. And that is, what can I do? What am I passionate about? Yeah, because when you lead a life in purpose, it's all systems go. You can actually read it on someone's face. You can see it. My students often say, when we see you work, we can tell that you love it. And it's in that loving it is where you eventually wake up one day and realize you found your purpose. Because in loving what I do, part of the energy that I get in that comes from my students. So it's the activity that I give and the energy that I give back. So the energy that I give and the energy that I get back. And that serves the greater good. And so if you don't know what your purpose is, then you will not find that out by journaling or sitting on a couch or taking a class or a workshop. Nothing stops you to get out there and do something kind. Set a goal for yourself where every day you go do 15 minutes something kind to other people, something that serves the greater good. Or maybe you should volunteer more. Maybe you should take some time out and visit an old folks home where there are plenty of people who don't get any visitors, and basically go there and entertain someone, make them feel good. And I think that when you exercise that muscle, and I think it's a muscle, then you start realizing, truly realizing and feeling, not just conceptualize or have a theory on if I serve the greater good, then I will be happy. No, it's actually just go out there and do it. You don't have to turn it into your profession. You don't have to turn it into a life goal. But I think if you exercise that muscle of serving the greater good, even as a hobby initially, then eventually this chemical process will happen inside the brain, the neuroplasticity of the brain, that you get addicted to that. And you start to filter for things in the environment where you go, oh, I can do this to make the world better, or I can do this to make the world better. That makes the facilitation of reaching a goal, like becoming a coach, or becoming a better yoga teacher, or a better teacher in general, or a better therapist, or whatever it is that you do, a better parent, makes it much more easier. So that's my take on purpose.